Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Friday, October 9th. There I am. Ooh, 2015. That's right, 2015. Oh my God. This is Super Organizer Universe Radio. And the music you're hearing now is not our regularly scheduled music, but music for October. Octubre, for you Spanish-speaking folks. I'm James Lott Jr., and I am the Super Organizer. Yes, I am the Super Organizer. There are other organizers, and there are organizers that are super, but I am the Super Organizer, and it's copyrighted. And I want to say always, at the beginning of my show, I say hi to my engineer who makes it all happen and makes it all possible for me to communicate with you, Brian.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. We were discussing a little bit off the air how tired we both are.
Yes, I didn't sleep well. I don't like that.
And that's honesty is the best policy.
Yes.
But I'm up. I'm ready to go for the show.
He's ready
at all times.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes, folks. I had a little. I was in bed at like 8:30, and I thought it was like midnight. I was so tired, but I didn't sleep well. And now I'm thinking about it just now. I think it's because I had that big bowl of ice cream. It's probably what did it. Sugar, not your friend. But welcome. We have a good show for you today. It's going to be an all-tip show. And as always, before I begin, I do my thanks and gratitude because I believe in giving thanks out loud and living in gratitude every day. I think these things are so important to me. I have so much fortunate things happening to me and things that have happened that I'm bursting at the seams to always get it out every week. So this week, my thanks and gratitude go to number one, failure. Yes, failure. Some of the biggest lessons, some of the biggest positive lessons that I have learned in life have come because of something not going the way I wanted it to, or I felt didn't go right. There were jobs or opportunities that came my direction that didn't work out, or I didn't get them. And at first it was kind of like, you get upset, you get angry, you feel a loss. Why me? Why me? But afterwards, I started really looking at them in another way. And I was like, wait a minute. Something else after that came up that was either a better fit. It was something that I wouldn't have seen if I had gotten that opportunity. Or it was a bigger opportunity. So now I kind of smile. So some things I wouldn't have learned, I believe, if I hadn't had those failures. Number two, adversity. There have been days and times in my life where I just can't see the light. Can't see it. Or I do see it, and it's a train coming at my direction. There's always an old joke. But I have learned the best thing I can do is just breathe and keep it moving. Because here's something I want to tell you. This is something real. Real. Life's going to go on whether you like it or not. How's that? The truth. You can have a messy house, but yes, life will go on. You may not have the best life possible, but your house is messy, but it's going to go on. Life is going to go on. So adversity can really make you stronger if you push through it and work hard to make things better. And I've had some adversity, and I've made things better. I'm okay. It's okay. Number three, disorganization. Of course, right? It's a blessing for me to watch my clients actually see the benefits of organization. Because I'm always like telling them, it really does work. I'm like, it's the truth. It's the truth. I'm telling you it's the truth. It works. Cause and effect. Everything's right there. An organized life is so much better. So this organization I feel fortunate for because it gave me a career, number one. And it teaches me to put things together in a puzzle form and put it all together and make it work. And I love that so much. I live in gratitude every day. And number four, and the last one is choice. Here's what's funny. I have the choice to take failure, adversity, and disorganization and make them work for me. I don't have to just accept what they are for face value. But I can turn my way of thinking and proceed in a positive way. These things happen. Stuff happens. And there's other words you can use. You can insert stuff. Happens. It does. Just it happens. But how you handle it is what makes the difference. And you can apply that to organization or disorganization. You can apply that to just life in general. And if you live any kind of life like I have, I've lived 46 years. Yay. Near 47. And I have had tough times and things go down and you just want to like eat your hair if I had hair still. But you get through it. And you have the tools, or you can find someone to help you with the tools to make it happen for you. And I even get thanks and gratitude every day that I have learned and continue to learn, because it's not over. That lady ain't saying yet. I'm not in the they call the dirt motel. I'm not dead. So learning's gonna continue. So I live in thanks and gratitude for those 4 things: failure, adversity, disorganization, and choice. How's that? So I like to always open my show sometime too with a just interesting tidbit of something, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about being left-handed. Yes, I am a lefty, a southpaw. I am left-handed, right-brained. And I've noticed in some of my practices, I have other left-handed clients, people that I talk to. One day I'm going to do a video on this, actually. Something that I'm kind of like having in my brain that I want to do, because I can't really illustrate it so much on the radio. Kind of got to show some of these things. Being left-handed is not always easy. It really isn't. And when I teach people how to organize or set up systems, sometimes I have to modify them for left-handed people, which for me is easy because I'm left-handed. So I just want to tell you a few things. This is kind of fun, little fun thing. These are facts about left-handed peeps. And I'm proud to be one of them. Oh, first of all, before I even tell you that, here's a little quick story. I just thought of this just now. I'm just going to tell you. This is live television, kids. I'm going to tell you a little story. That's a television, radio. See, I'm already messing up. That's the sleep. Because I do television, of course. You know I do that too. So live radio. God bless America. Here's a little story. I went to a house once to help someone set up. And we're in the kitchen. And we're setting up the kitchen. And everything's kind of, I'm in there just putting stuff away and, the flow of the kitchen and everything. And the person who's moving in, the client says, "This kitchen is weird." And I'm like, "What do you mean? It's a kitchen. It has like a stove and a refrigerator and, whatever." She's like, "No, it's like really weird. Like, I don't know what to do. I mean, my hands know where to go." And when I looked at it, I was like, why do I feel so comfortable in this kitchen more than I normally do in every other kitchen that I have? It was a left-handed kitchen. Like, seriously, it was set up by a left-handed person for a left-handed person on purpose. We found out a little later.
Hold on.
Yes.
Give me some examples of what a left-handed kitchen would be opposed to a, I don't want to say normal, right-handed kitchen.
You want to say normal.
Yeah, because that's
normal.
That's bad. No.
Yes. My mother says I'm wrong-handed.
Yeah.
Like, no, Mommy, I'm not. Here's what's funny. Okay, so it's like placement. So, like where the sink is, where the refrigerator is, where countertops are, where you place the utensils, or you hang utensils, where you place where you place the oven. Like this place, the oven was like in the center, and the utensils were on the left. So I just grab. It was easy grab while I'm cooking. Oh, I can grab a ladle and I can stir. Like it was just like an easy transition. Then going to the right side, switching it to my left hand to stir the stuff in the pot. That's one example.
No, that's awesome.
That's why I want to do a video for it, because I want to show people how that kind of works, how that looks. There are things that are just the handles on refrigerators and stuff. The handle was on the other side. So for a left-handed person, it was easy to open the door. Actually, I have a left-handed refrigerator at my house. My brother and I are left-handed. And I have it at the house where it opens a way that's super easy for us and not have to switch hands. And it's really funny. Little things that you guys who are right-handed don't think about. I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I attempted to write with my left hand yesterday.
Okay.
It's funny that you're bringing up
How
this.
did it feel?
It was all chicken scratch and my head started hurting. It's so... and what I've noticed about left-handed people is that they're able to transition to right a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
I can't transition to my left and do anything with my left that I do with my right.
See?
But people that are left-handed have that natural ability to just kind of pick up what it is that they're doing with their left hand and their right at the same time. I'm jealous of that.
Well, because we have to. We kind of have to learn how to just adapt.
My left hand's useless. It's my show hand.
Your show hand is your show hand.
Yeah, my right hand's the one that works, puts in the hours, and manual labor. But my left hand's just a trophy wife.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Very nice. We like your trophy wife. It's okay.
Thank you.
So here's some facts of left-handed people. I like that. Here's some facts of left-handed people. Obviously, I'm not smarter. No, here we go. They say that people who are left-handed make up about 5 to 15% of the population. It's funny, whenever I see a left-handed person, we like embrace each other and they're so giddy. They say the genes for left-handedness are kind of elusive. Like, they don't know why or how. I come from a family of right-handed people on both sides. I had one great-grandmother who was kind of ambidextrous and was left-handed at one point, but they made her right-handed. Other than that, there's nobody left-handed in my family. Lefties, they say, are relatively numerous among creative men. I agree with that. They say lefties are relatively numerous among individuals who are good at math and music. That's a lie. Not good at music. And I was almost not music. Not good at math at all.
Oh, I was going to say Paul McCartney's left-handed.
Yeah, so music's fine. I can do music, but math, that's obviously a lie.
And I think Tony from Black Sabbath's left-handed also.
Which I'm wearing a shirt today.
Yeah, I think I'm going to look that up while you're talking.
Oh, thank you. He may have been. So music, okay, I get that. Math, I don't know about that one.
Hendrix was left-handed.
He was left-handed. That's true. Very true. Most left-handers draw figures facing to the right, which is so true. I've done that. There's a high tendency of twins for one to be left-handed. Interesting. Stuttering and dyslexia occur more often in left-handers. So I don't know what that percentages are on that. It'd be interesting to find that out. They say left-handed people adjust more readily to seeing underwater. I don't even know what that means, kind of. I mean, I used to swim. I swim. I mean, I can see underwater. I don't know what that means. And they're going to try to tell us that left-handed people reach puberty 4 to 5 months after right-handed people. I'm still trying to get there. Yeah. Hey, here's some good. 4 out of the 5 original designers of the Macintosh Apple computer were left-handed. So there. Thank you, iPhone 6 users. Almost 40% of the top tennis pros are left-handed. Our President Obama's left-handed. I can tell you that right now. I know he's left-handed. They say, we use our right side of the brain the most, while right-handed people use the left side of the brain the most. That part I knew, of course. And they're saying that left-handers excel in tennis, baseball, swimming, and fencing. I've always wanted to try fencing. Very interesting. I just never done it. There's a guy named, I think his name is Tim Waterhouse or Morehouse. I guess Morehouse. He's a famous fencer. I should ask him, teach me how to fence. Have fun. So this is some little fun facts. And so it's funny. I have to learn how to, adjust myself for people who are left-handed with me. Yes?
I can confirm that, yeah, Tony from Black Sabbath is
very
left-handed.
Good.
I knew it, but I didn't want to put all my nickels out there and say that he was.
We do truth here. We make sure fact-checking.
I know a lot about music, but I every once in a while I need to go back and look at one of my favorite guitarists from the Aquabats is left-handed too. I just forgot about that.
Aquabats, that's right.
Yeah, so whenever I see a poster with him depicted as a right-handed guitarist, I get really upset.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that happens a lot with that artist too, with the guitarist.
That's so weird.
Yeah, you would expect with official merchandising that they would get his left-handed guitar, because when you see a shirt and he's holding it, if the shirt's facing towards your left side, then the guitar is wrong. It has to be facing your right side in order for
left-handed discrimination happens all the time, even in music.
Yeah. Kurt Cobain was left-handed too.
Yes, he was.
Kurt Cobain was left-handed.
Yes, he was.
There's a whole list of people who were left-handed right here it's fascinating. I didn't know.
Read a few of them. Tell me.
Okay. Well, I love Dave King. He's from the Flogging Molly.
Oh, Flogging Molly.
One of my favorite bands is left-handed. And then what did I read right here? Ernie C from Body Count, the rap group with
Ice-T.
Ice-T, he's left-handed also.
How funny.
Robin Campbell from UB40.
Oh, UB40.
UB40. Oh, Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billy Ray, he's left-handed. I didn't know that.
I mentioned the Aquabats. Jimi Hendrix.
Yes.
It says that his dad forced him to try to play right-handed.
Probably. I'm surprised.
But he was naturally. And then Kurt Cobain played left-handed guitar, but he played right-hand drums.
Okay,
which is interesting. Like you said, like people who have the left-hand ability can transition quickly over to and then there's other guy, Ryan Waste from Municipal Waste, is a local trash band there.
Okay, Yeah, I know them.
And then after that, it gets a little more Dick Dale, the guy who does the intro to Pulp Fiction.
Oh, how funny!
After she blasts the restaurant, and it cuts into that one surfy song.
Yeah.
That's
Lieutenant.
That's
Very
Dick
good.
Dale.
Very good. Lefties.
I'll leave it there.
Leave it there. We're gonna leave it right there. So here we go, kids. I'm going to start telling you some tips, some other tips that's going to go on. We're going to do life coaching and organizing today because I do both. And so when we come back, we're going to talk about how you can do anything, or is it everything, or is it both? This is Super Organizer Universe Radio, and we'll be right back.
Time to tune in and log on with Behind the Lens. Join noted film critic Debbie Lynn Elias and a lineup of talented co-hosts and informed guests each week as she goes behind the lens and below the line. We'll take in-depth looks at films and filmmaking with the movers and shakers and up-and-comers of the industry, along with movie reviews, interviews, awards, festival coverage, specialty segments like Tech Talk and Classic Corner. Tune in to Behind the Lens every Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, only on Adrenaline Radio.
Hey, this is Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers for RAD. I'm here to remind you that drunk drivers are still a major killer of young adults in this country. So always choose a designated driver, and remember, music lives, you should too.
Getting born in the state of Mississippi, Papa was a copper and Mama was a hippie.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Do you love leather? Do you own a piece of fine leather furniture? Do you love the way it feels when you sit in it? Do you want to keep it that way? Because my name is Chris Lawler, and I own Leather Care Services. I'm in the business of restoring and maintaining leather furniture so that you love it as much in 10 years as you did the day that you bought it. Call me at area code 562-693-7676. Remember, Leather Care Services, saving cows one hide at a time.
While cutting molding with a 12-inch dual compound miter saw, while holding a newborn baby in your arms, when face-to-face with a congregation of alligators, with the ball in your hands and the entire freaking season on the line.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting. So why would you do it while driving? NASCAR driver Casey Kane here, asking you to please stop the text, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Get the message at stoptextstopwrecks.org.
And we are back. This is Super Organized Universe Radio. And this is a live show. I'm going to turn my microphone up a little bit because I can't really hear me. There I am. I think that's where I am. No, here I am. Here I am. Now I can hear myself.
Did I go in there and fuss with that?
No, you didn't. But I think I'm good now. I think I got it.
I did. I have vivid memories of me going in there and moving that.
Vivid memories?
Vivid.
Ooh, I like that. I like vivid
recollections in my noodle.
I love it. All right. So we're going to start out with something that's kind of a life coachy thing. It's something that I like to support and uplift everyone in my sphere. And I call this, I can do everything. This is what I call it. Now, to have that statement, there has to be some kind of honesty, though. And I really believe in that. Honesty, being honest, honestly looking at a situation, honestly speaking, honesty is the best policy. Honesty. I think most of us can agree that honesty is a good thing. Being honest, of course, is a good virtue to possess. Sometimes honesty can hurt. And being honest with oneself can be very difficult. You think it'd be easy because you're with yourself. So you think it'd just be easy. You have to admit things to yourself. You don't have to admit it to anybody else, but admit it to yourself. You think that would be the easiest thing on earth. No, it's not. But I do believe for any kind of success to happen, and that could be in organizing a kitchen to getting that job, you have to be honest with yourself first. So here's one thing to relate it to organizing. Before you organize yourself or with a professional organizer like myself, you have to look inward and ask yourself certain questions. And you really need honesty when you're organizing. I completely agree with that. I think that's just something you have to do. So here we go. Being honest aligns you with your strength of power, or power of strength, whichever way you want to say it. Being objective when you look at your limitations. It's not about judgment. It's not about blame or shame. It's just like, just be objective. Just be real about your what's going on in your situations or your limitations. Just look at it. What can you do? What can't you do? Not what you're doing, but just what can you do? You may not be doing it right now, but could you do that? Whatever that is? Possibly. Be real about your talents. That's something right there, right? Because if you're real with your talents, you can still work within stuff. You would just figure out what really is your talent. Don't lie about your abilities. That goes hand in hand with that. If you're not naturally a thinker in a certain way, it's okay. We can find a way for you to think a way similar to that. We got to be honest about that so we can find that way. We want to get you from A to B. Don't lie about A. We want to be honest about A so we can get you to B still. It may just be a different way or form to get you there, but we can. Be forthcoming about the things that make you feel embarrassed. That could be a hard one, or easy one sometimes. It's just kind of like looking at something going, yeah, you know what? I'm embarrassed that this room is a mess. I'm embarrassed that part of the wall has a hole in it. I'm embarrassed that I have a bed I've had for 800 years. I mean, whatever it is. If you're embarrassed about it, just be honest about it. It's fine. Because right now you're telling yourself, you're being honest with yourself. Do you need outside help? Such as like a therapist, life coach, friend, organizer. Sometimes you need help. Let's just sit on that for a second. Sometimes you do. And help can come in many forms. And sometimes it could be a friend coming by and saying hello. It could be a therapist to really get into deep, rooted problems you have. Could be a life coach to just get you from what you need today to what you need tomorrow. Could be an organizer helping you organize your kitchen, garage, mudroom. I mean, getting help is not a sign of weakness. It really, 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 really isn't. We're all in this village together. I tell you, it takes a village to raise me, and I happily take suggestions and advice from people that I trust. I do not know everything. What I do know, I know. I always say. It could be fine. It's just getting help is fine. I've had some great people assist me in things that I had no clue about. And do you have the answers within you and are afraid to accept them? That's a good one. Do you have the answers within you but are just afraid to accept them? I'm a certified life coach, and that part of my business basically deals with that alone. I always believe that you have the answer. And many times you just want validation of that answer, or it's an answer you don't like, so you don't want to accept it or talk about it. You want to kind of keep pushing it down and still think you can do blank. Being a life coach, we help bring that out. I have tips, suggestions, invitations, worksheets, all kind of stuff to kind of help you get really center with yourself and figure out what the answers are. But you already may have the answer. The answer may be moving. The answer may be, I need to get rid of all this stuff, but I don't know where to start. I should know where to start. So you got to take that out of your brain. I should know where to start. Get it out of your brain. Just know that you need to start, and to start from there. And then, so being honest really is a powerful thing when you really think about it. Being honest with yourself is a really powerful thing. Like I said, it may hurt a little bit. It ain't always fun and pretty. But at least you can start from a true place to get anything done. Like I said, just getting a job, cleaning your room, whatever. It really does help. And like I said, and if you need help to get even more honest, go out and get help. So I've seen it work for me. I've seen it work for others. I really started being honest with myself about 10 years ago. And because of that, it has informed decisions for me that have led to like where I'm at today. And all the things that I'm doing. Everything that I'm doing in my life right now, I really enjoy. It's hard work, I'll tell you that. But I really enjoy it. And it all stems from being honest on what can I do? What do I want? What do I don't want? It's like all those answers I asked me first. And I get help from others. So I suggest that you can do anything. You can do everything. Sure. So now the next thing I'm going to talk about, we're going to give you an actual organizing tip. And this is called organizing yourself and your paperwork. You know, on this show, we talk about papers all the time. Papers, 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 papers. Cheese and crackers. There are papers everywhere. Everywhere. But now if you have a home office or a work office, it's a work office. You have an office, if you go to an office, you have a desk, or you have a home office, you know, it just happens. When I started the Super Organizer 6.5 years ago, I didn't really anticipate the sheer amount of paperwork that's kind of involved. You know, if you're like me, as soon as I wake up and open my eyes, I have like 600 emails. I swear to God. It's like my phone, because, you know, emails go to my phone now. I have emails on my tablet. I have my laptop to see on my little desk. There are 800 million of them. Some are whatever, but a lot of them need to be answered. And, you know, there are a few issues, you know, that weren't originally on the plan for that day, too, that come up sometimes, you know. Running a business, it takes a lot of work. And if you work for somebody, helping them run their business takes a lot of work. And there are a lot of things that are paper. We know we're trying to go paperless, and people are trying to go paperless, but there's still paper. There's still things I need to print out. There's still things I need to send off. You know, it's just, oh, my God. The thing about paper is it can really grow very fast. Like rabbits making rabbits. It can multiply in mere seconds. You're looking at your desk, you have 2 pieces of paper. You could turn away, it's almost like magic, you have 20 pieces of paper. The next day, you have a stack of paper. At my last job, I had a stack of paper that never went down. Never. When I say never, I mean like never. It was the same stack of paper I had for like a year and a half. And I was getting stuff done, but it seemed like it was like almost like you said, it was like a joke. Like it was like one of those comedies where I turn away and like the same more paper would get right on top or go right underneath. Like you rotate it up. Paper just is everywhere. A lot of times, if you can, you got to try to handle it now. Or the I'll get to it later habit happens. Like, ugh. I mean, there have been many times I've had frustrating trying to find that one document. Someone calls or sends me a text or sends me an email saying, I need that 108255, whatever. I know it was on my desk, or I know it was over there. I saw it the whole 2 months I didn't need it, but now I need it. Where the crap is it? I'm sure you've all been through there before. It is not fun. And your friend, it always happens usually for me when I have a timeline, when it's like, I need it by tomorrow, or I need it by 4 p.m. today. Yeah, that happens. So here's some things that I do, and I suggest to my clients, because you need to really get it in some kind of order. Yeah, the paper's just scattered everywhere. You gotta get it in some kind of order. And I think here's a couple of ways that I do that, at least so that I can find things easier and it helps you save time. First step is you need to block out some time. Block it out. You're going to super organize yourself. So you're going to block it out. Say, okay, I got 4 hours on Sunday. Block that out. For me, I actually have a little calendar. Put in your calendar, put in your phone, whatever. Just, physically, like you would do anything else and block out time for anything else, block that out. Put an alarm on your phone, whatever. Just do whatever you need to do. Take a deep breath. If you drink coffee, get your coffee. Red Bull, whatever you drink, get something to drink. Get comfortable, get ready. Then I suggest, and I actually do suggest this because I write things out all the time. I am a writer. Sheet of paper, scratch paper, whatever. Write out what you want to get done. Okay, so it could be, okay, I gotta pay these bills, check emails, do my taxes, make phone calls, lunch. Just write it all down. Even write in lunch, write in break, whatever. Write it all in there. And then you're going to try to follow it. That's the whole plan. You block out time, write out what you want to get done, and hopefully in that writing out it is organize papers so you can actually find them later. So For some people, record keeping is electronic. And a disorganized computer system could be, as I say, it could be just as bad. Just as bad. So that's another story. Because we're talking about papers right now, but we'll do another show where we're talking about actually organizing your desktop and all that kind of, your files and all that kind of stuff. It can be a little scary and challenging, but it can be done. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to keep it as simple as possible. I'm always about simplicity. Just keep it as simple. Nothing fancy. Don't try to find some 50-cent words in a dictionary. Just keep it simple. Folders can be your friends. I'm all about folders because folders open and close. There are different types of folders. There are folders that have like pockets in them. There are folders that are just like regular old manila folders, all kinds of folders. Get folders. Name the folders. Again, just you can label it right on there, whatever. Because right now we're just trying to kind of initially get things organized. You write health, bills, medical, dental, like whatever. Just write it on the folder. Make it clear. Then you'll know what your folder means. That's kind of good. Make sure the categories, like a little side thing, the categories and the names, make sure it's really precise. And that really opens your interpretation. That's the thing. You don't want to do it where you're like, well, I could have wrote it under auto or Toyota or, like you want to make sure it's like just car insurance. Even that simple. Just not like car insurance that I paid or car insurance I didn't pay or monthly car stuff. No, you want to make sure it's really precise. So when you're like in a hurry, you automatically think where to look. Simple, clear, easy. Okay. If you don't have file cabinets, I say get one. You can also get the plastic ones that are on rollers and they're really simple and you can move them around. But if you have your own business or you're a stay-at-home mom who takes care of all the bills, you should have something that's for your vendors, for your clients, for like if you're at home and you have like a gardener, a housekeeper, tile guy, like whatever. You want to make sure you have contractor. You want to make sure you have files for them at least, of course. And have those things, taxes, all that kind of, because that's all stuff you want. Those are all major items you want to keep in there. If you want to do files for your personal life, and I mean, these are all, I'm not counting so much like bills and stuff, but like you have like memorabilia or birth records or whatever. So you should do separate files for that too. Everything should be kind of, you want to keep your personal and professional stuff kind of separate. You have kids, each kid gets a file. You throw all the stuff in there. Husband, wife, spouse, partner, each person gets a file. When it comes to their personal stuff. Could be somebody you're saving cards or there's things you can save. Just you do separately. When it comes to bank accounts especially, if you have a business and personal, make sure they're separate. If you and your spouse have separate accounts and accounts together, do a file for you, a file for that partner, and a file for together. It's like whatever you have, make a file for it. And that's good for both electronic and paper. Just like something, just make sure you have, so you know that this is his stuff or her stuff. This is your stuff. This is you'll make sure it's all separate. Basically, you start taking the papers you have everywhere and you place them in their respective files, their folders. The goal is, as you go through, and if you find new categories as you're going through papers, you make a folder for that immediately, and then you put that paper in there. So the goal is to have files for everything that was on your desk or on your desktop, that was on your dresser, or wherever you have papers laying around, that everything has a place in it. So you just continue doing that, and everybody has their thing. So that's the goal. So that when you need to look for it, there it is. In the end, basically, what you want to do is have a place for everything that's clearly marked, and your papers aren't just everywhere. You want them, in one space. And then you can do it. Forget about the alphabetical order or whatever. We get to all that later. But first, you're trying to find a place for everything. Then I do recommend making categories. We can do a big home category, and everything goes with home. Whatever you think of. Or maybe do it alphabetically. You're good from A to B. I want A to B. A to Z. If I drank coffee, I'd be drinking it right now. So A to Z. So like whatever you feel, 1 to 3, or whatever it is that you feel that would work for you, that's what you need to do in terms of actually making it a file system. For me, it's alphabetical. I'm a big alphabetical person. I just kind of, from A to Z, got it, keeps me sane, I can remember. So if you don't have file folders, if you don't have a filing cabinet, maybe get a box, a bin, something, so you can lay it neatly sitting up, so you can actually see it. And you can get those anywhere. There's ones that are inexpensive at like Big Lots or somewhere like that. 99-cent store has them sometimes. Just get them and just lay them up. Or a box. A box can work also. Until you decide you get. But I think cabinets are nice. I think a nice little cabinet is fine, depending on how size your files are. Good. So, because you really want to make sure you keep everything together, right? And those are tips for that today, and that's for hopefully you can follow that. You can also follow these tips that I have on my website, my blog, the superorganizeruniverse.com. And also I'll post these also on my Facebook page /the Superorganizer. So you can, if you didn't catch it, you can always, of course, download this when it comes podcast, and you can always listen to it over and over again because my voice is great. But if you don't want to do that, I'll have them online for you too. So we're going to skip to another subject, and because someone's been asking, I have people asking about this, because people today are trying to find work. We're going to talk about what's a good resume. This is Super Organizer Universe Radio, and we'll be right back.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. Under my clothes, I'm a robot. My webcam is broken. I'm worried they'll get passed around school. I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin. I'm a vampire, so I don't show up in pictures anyways. Your badgering has really killed the mood.
When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hey, I'm James Lott Jr., the Super Organizer. I host Super Organizer Universe Radio every Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Join me each week as I give you tips on how to organize your life, home life, work life, family. All needs organization, and I'm here to help. Every Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on Adrenaline Radio, Super Organizer Universe Radio. Organizing shouldn't be sour. It should be sweet.
You might know me, I'm 50 Cent. You may follow my tweets, my Facebook friends. Odds are a few in 6 degrees separate us. We're that close. What's crazy is 1 in 6 don't know where their next meal is coming from. These are your co-workers, your neighbors, your friends. Hunger's too close for us to ignore. So visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank to see how you can make a difference. From one close friend to another, let's do this. I'm 50 Cent, and together we are Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
It was a clear black night.
What's up? This is Warren G. You know what I'm saying? I'm here giving it up for RAD because they do a lot of good things for people. Before you drink, make sure that you got somebody that can drive your butt home so you won't crash or get pulled over and get a DUI. So go ahead and follow the rules and everything will be cool. And don't be no fools. Peace, baby. Warren G.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hey, neighbor, getting some sod put in?
Yeah, it's Marathon.
Yeah, that's what I got. But yours looks so much greener and thicker than mine. What's going on? I'm going to call the growers.
Southland Sod Farms, may I help you?
My Marathon sod doesn't look as good as my neighbor's.
Are you sure yours is Marathon?
That's what I asked for.
Let me do a computer search. We don't have a record of your delivery. You didn't get genuine Marathon sod.
What do you mean?
Sometimes unscrupulous contractors, retailers, and other sod farms lead you to think they're selling Marathon, but then substitute a lesser brand.
That really teased me off. How could I have known I got a cheap imitation?
Look for the bold, genuine Marathon label on the sod pallets when they're delivered.
Don't get cheated. Look for the genuine Marathon sod logo displayed by nurseries and landscape contractors in the yellow pages. Or call 1-800-4-MARATHON for a free do-it-yourself video and authorized dealer list. That's 1-800-4, then Marathon. Or visit the website at www.sod.com. 'Cause 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 '
I'm sorry I played this one.
I like this one.
This is the one that takes forever.
The long intro. You're back with Super Organized Universe Radio. I'm James Lott Jr. I'm going to talk this out. We are on AdrenalineRadio.com.
It doesn't get into the 52 mark.
Yeah, I
We're
know.
about 20 seconds away.
I know. And I'm James Lott Jr., the Super Organizer. You can find me at SuperOrganizerUniverse.com, theSuperOrganizer.com. There we go. I'll just talk it out. That's right. I like having a soundtrack behind me as I'm talking. I should get that in my life. I think you do it. Yeah. Like, that'd be interesting. Do a presentation at a conference. It's like, this is my music. That's what I do. Mm-hmm. I really like the song. I really want to do something with it.
It's reminiscent of the song Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath.
Oh,
with that long intro,
yes.
with the guitar, with the bell chiming and the rain effects, with the thunder going.
Well, you know,
on.
back in the 70s, everything was long intros and lots of solos, and yes, very 70s-esque. Yes, I do. But it's really good. We are back, and we're going to talk about resumes. A good resume. I've been asked by many of my listeners that they want to hear about some tips about making a good resume, because a lot of people are looking for jobs. And as you know out there, any kind of advantage you can get is really good. And your resume should be looking. Let's get the English together. Your resume should look organized also. It should be nice and neat. So it's a good organization. I tell you, it affects everything in life. So these are some things that have helped me get a job. And I used to work in HR and some previous jobs of mine, and I also always read things out there about human resources and what's going on. And as you know, there are a lot of people out there looking for jobs. So, I mean, it's tough already. But here's some things that at least basics that can help you have a nice resume. 1, know your audience. And that's right, kids. Know your audience. Okay, so you see a position you're looking for. Think about that position you're looking for. Or you're thinking yourself, this is what I want to do in my life. Just either direction. Think about what you want to do. Think what you're aiming for, what kind of job you want. Put it in your brain. Okay, got it. You got it. So either you know what you're looking for, or you're actually applying for a specific job. Get a copy of the job description. Or go online and look at what job descriptions are. That if you're like, I want to be a nurse, well, see what the nurses do. There are different kinds of nurses, of course. Maybe you want to be a specific nurse, a pediatric nurse. Look that up, see what's going on. Or you want to be a merchandiser. See what merchandisers do. Look all that up. Of course, you can Google all this stuff, of course, nowadays. Because it's important to know your audience when you're presenting your resume, because you want to gear your resume to that job. Into that position. Okay, so number 2 is you. Number 1 is your audience. Number 2 is you. Now the position and requirements are clear, because now you see what they're looking for, what the position entails, the basics, because you haven't talked to anybody yet. But this is what they're basically saying they're looking for. How does your experience match up? Very smart. An effective resume clearly establishes that you are qualified in each of the primary aspects of a particular job. Yes. Because your goal is to make it easy. So when a person is hiring, wants to look at your resume quickly, they usually scan. I'm telling you this right now. A lot of times they'll scan. Either they're looking at a lot of resumes, or you're just another piece of paper that comes in front of their desk. They're scanning it. They're trying to see if you're a right fit for the position. A one-size-fits-all resume usually doesn't work. When it's too broad and too just kind of like, I've done everything in the world, a lot of times it's too much. They're trying to find keywords. Because you don't want them to try to figure you out. They'll lose interest. They don't need to figure you out. They want to be able to look at your resume and go, oh, he says right here, blank. And it fits exactly what they're looking for in the job description. Now, they have to interview you, of course, do all that. But at least they'll see that and go, okay, we'll keep this one, move to the next level. So now you know your audience. Does your skills match up? 3, expand beyond the tasks, is what I call this one. Most people who are hiring know like general duties related to the career within that kind of specific field. They know what yes, I can type. Yes, I can, answer phones. Yes, I can do spreadsheets. They kind of know all that stuff. But here's what really stands out. Sometimes on a resume, it's good to put down your impact and results you had within that particular career. For example, a retail sales associate may have been one of the top sellers in the men's shoe department and rose to the ranks of sitting in meetings with shoe buyers, helping determine what shoes were bought in the company. You know what? List all that in your description of what you did. Top seller in men's shoe departments. Assisted with shoe buying. Things like that. I mean, those are things that are beyond just, those are extra things that you did within your career. You came on to sell, clothes and shoes, but somehow you rose in that area and that opportunity was particularly open to you. List that. It tells them so much about you. You can say things like, raised shoe department sales by 60% from the time I started. Because every role has a measurement of success. Customer satisfaction, time to complete a task, volume of activity completed, error rate, or even performance measurement rankings that some stores and places will do. Those are all things that impact what kind of role you had in your job. List those accomplishments along with the actual general duties. Because, they know that you need to sell clothes when you're there. But if you say it in a way that's kind of like, I sold 6% of men's shoes. I was one of the top 5 people in my department. Those are good things to know. Because when they ask you in the interview, you can expand and they'll say, oh, and they may eye you for a position you weren't looking for, but something a little better. Or for the position and go, this guy or girl can actually move up. You never know. It's good. Number 4, because you know your audience, you know who you are, you wrote down your accomplishments, the appearance. This is why I go with the organization. The appearance, because a resume is a visual document, right? So it has to be visually appealing. The layout, in my opinion, needs to be organized, symmetrical. You can go online, look at templates, and find what's best for you. But I feel like it needs to be something where the eyes can rest nicely. I'm all about white paper. You can use other color paper, I guess. Not heavily text heavy. So when you're doing number 3 and trying to list what you do, try to be concise. Try to say it in a way that makes sense, but gets the point across, but not so wordy where I'm not going to read a paragraph. I'm not going to read 2 paragraphs of what he did at Macy's. You just want to get to the point. So the appearance should be really nice. Make sure everything is in a row, from most recent to how many far back you want to go. Nowadays, you don't need you to go back, 80 years or anything. But go back enough where in that field, it will serve you in the resume process. Use a nice, clear font. There's nothing worse than trying to read, because reading people's handwriting is hard enough. But some of these fonts, just I can't even... It's too cursive, or it's too this or too that. You want something that's clear, nice font size. Sometimes 14 or 16 or 18 are nice font sizes. Keep it neat and clean. Many say keep it to 1 page. I think it depends on your age, experience, and job you're going into. I say no more than 2, at the very least. Because as we know, anything longer than that, they tune out. I'm just going to read a book. Okay, he has a lot of experience, but all this stuff, but I don't have time to read all this. It's just a fact. So keeping it short, concise, to the point. 1 page is great. 2 is fine also. And number 5 is very important. This is what I do in a lot of my life, period. And I have an assistant, so I can do this now with my assistant. Get a second look. Always print it and review before you send out or save it. Print it. Look at it. Physically look at it. I hate lots of papers, but you can always take the papers and make them into scratch paper, or recycle, whatever. You can always use it for other stuff. But I'm all about getting another pair of eyes. You look at it again, get someone else to look at it, get a fresh pair of eyes. And that catches all grammar stuff, wording. You may have left something in you shouldn't have left in. Maybe you didn't put something in. You need to. writing a resume to me is not fun. It's not a fun thing to do. It's tedious. It requires thinking. There's a lot of detail. But you want a job. So it's necessary evil. You want a job. So just like everything else in your life that's organized, you want an organized-looking resume where people can just get to it, glance at it, look at it, and go, this looks nice, and call you in. Because remember, hiring managers or whoever does the HR, they only get your resume one time. That's the first time. You get one chance. One chance. That's it. So there you go, kids. You got to really make a good impression. Really, please. I'm gonna say this heavily into the microphone. Make sure your spelling and grammatical errors are out, because that bugs the crap out of me. There are 3 ways to use there. Make sure you use the right way for there, because that's one of the ones that makes me want to cry. Sob like a baby. I'm 46 years old. You want to see a 46-year-old man sobbing at a resume. It's not pretty. It's the ugly cry. So please, I tell you, get those done. And then when you get it all done, you can actually send out to people, because you'll feel good. Look at that second eye. We're going to go away, but we will be right back. Super Organized Universe Radio.
So, I'm a dog, and I just got adopted by this new human guy, and I'm starting to wonder how he got along without me. I mean, okay, something as simple as walking around the block. He's got this leash thing, and he puts me on one end and him on the other, and I'm just taking him around. I think he's afraid of getting lost. Without that leash and me guiding him along, I don't think he'd find his way back home. But it's kind of cute.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Los Pollos, home of flavored down-to-the-bone chicken. As we say in Spanish, el sabor hasta el último huesito. At Los Pollos, we serve delicious Cuban/Mexican marinated chicken. We are cooking our chickens in rotisserie ovens to give you a well-seasoned, well-marinated, well-cooked, delicious chicken. We have 3 locations to serve you. In the city of Bell, we are located in 6201 Atlantic Avenue on the corner of Randolph and Atlantic. In the city of East LA, we are located on 5161 Pomona Boulevard on the corner of Atlantic and Pomona Boulevard. And in the city of Downey, we are located on 7940 East Florence Avenue in the corner of Paramount and Florence. Come to Los Pollos and experience the most delicious chicken that you'll ever have the pleasure of eating.
At highway speeds, the average text takes your eyes off the road for about 5 seconds. That's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop texts, stopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are back. This is Super Organizer Universe Radio. I am James Lott Jr., the Super Organizer. It's our last segment. We talked about thanks and gratitude, left-handed people. You can do anything or everything. Organizing paperwork, and a good resume. So another thing that people have been asking me about, and I decided to comment on because it does happen. I have friends in the business who are pitching, selling. And these are 3 tips that I found have worked for me in the past. And, of course, obviously I've gotten things like a radio show. But there's some things that I've read about and also that I found. I put together 3 tips. These are cute little 3 little tips for you guys about what you can sell in selling. Kind of similar to the resume thing. That's why I thought I might as well read this too, because I have been asked, and I thought, I give what my fans want. I do. I try my best. Okay, so one is know your audience. If you learn anything about this show, it's all about when I work with a client for organizing or work with a client for life coaching, I try to get to know them a little bit and know what their wants and desires are, what they need, what they don't need, how they live. It's all about me knowing who they are on some level so I can work with them effectively. Going into resume writing, knowing who you're trying to reach, you can tailor your resume that way. Going into a pitch or a sale, really know the company, person, or group you're talking to. Don't waste anybody's time. You're not wasting anybody's time. So do a little bit of homework. Do a little bit of homework and be familiar with them on some level. Because people will tell you, like when I do interviews on here or on AfterBuzz TV, they'll say things like, you really did your homework. Well, you knew about that. Because I do. I write down little facts and things, little factoids. I have these little cards that I write on. And it's just something that I really do. I do my homework. So when you're doing a pitch, kind of know a little bit about them. So it also helps you figure out the best way to pitch them, too. Think about that. Number 2, it's okay if they say no. That's the one thing in life, period. Like I said, the whole failures thing or whatever. It's the whole thing. If you pitch and sell with passion and conviction, do it. Just do it. Give it 100,000%. Just do it. If they say no, keep it moving. Stop with the pitch. Stop trying to oversell. Stop trying to, yeah. I got a lot of you guys like me, you watch Shark Tank. Some of them do that. You're like, shut up. They're tuning out. Just do your original pitch. Do it. Tell them what your product is about or what it is you're trying to get them to jump on board on. Again, be honest. We'll tie it into the beginning of the show. Be honest about your product and who you are, what your limitations are, what you can do for them, and pitch it. But if they say no, stop. Because you have to read the room. Because remember, they may say no to this, but they may be open to something else. If you're an actor, you know all about that a lot of times. You go on auditions for a show. Many times they've hired people not for that one role they originally went in for, but made a good impression, and they were good. They brought them on for something else. Happens all the time. So remember that this one product you have may not work. But it could turn into a long-term relationship in terms of coming back to them. For me in organizing, I've had people come to me, say they're ready to organize, they're just say their kitchen, but then they don't hire me right then. Because it's a very personal thing. I totally get it. So we go off, I don't hear them for a while. I send little emails here and there just saying, hey, how you doing? Just want you know that I have a special on this or whatever. But I don't hound them. I don't go, why aren't you hiring me? Come on, I need the money tomorrow. No, I don't do all that. I leave them alone. But because I was good, because I was friendly, and because I didn't bug them to death, and I knew my audience, I knew what they were kind of going through, 3 minutes later, when they had the budget or the help or the time or the money or whatever it was, they called me and offered me a project. This happened several times. And other organizers out there, I know you've been through this before too. Some of you have been through this before. It just kind of happens. They just emotionally are ready now to do something. So if they say no, it's okay. And number 3, stop while you're ahead. If the potential client says he's interested, immediately turn the pitch into a dialogue and leave the room as soon as you can. Because you can talk yourself out of anything. So you don't want to do that. If they're like, got it, we want it, then stop. Switch. And start turning it into a dialogue on what the next step is. What the next steps are. What should we do next? Right? Because next, that's the big word, next. You like it? Good. Okay, let's do it. Because you keep talking, they may say, never mind. So those are 3 tips for a good pitch or sale, or just in life in general when you try and talk to somebody to get them to hire you. Know your audience. It's okay if they say no, and stop while you're ahead. I want to thank you for joining me. I live in gratitude every week that you guys join me. I also live in gratitude when you actually listen to me later when it's podcasted. I appreciate that very much. I enjoy the feedback. Please continue to send me your comments, thoughts, suggestions, questions on either of my Twitter pages, Black Hope LA, and that's BLAKHOPELA, or the Super O. Yes, that's the Super O. And then also on Facebook, you can do it on my page, The Super Organizer, or my fan page, James Lott Jr. I will take messages and requests all the time. And of course, my blog is thesuperorganizeruniverse.com. I have over 550 blog posts of all kinds of goodness. And then of course, the granddaddy of them all, my website, if you want to hire me or hire me for all kinds of things, thesuperorganizer.com. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you next week.